Now, I would like to call Mr. M. Harish from Yokogawa on the stage. Thank you.
Good afternoon, all, and welcome. And before proceeding, I will just give you a brief introduction of myself. Uh, I'm an instrumentation engineer, and I have been with the OT industry for more than 20 years. I have been from the customer side as well as from the DCS vendor side, and as also I'm now dealing with the digital technologies and delivering on these digital technologies. So today's topic will be transforming the payment management system using the latest technologies. So first we will look at into the introduction. What is it? Then why do we need to have this payment management system? Then to understand why exactly, we will look at how the manual payment system was working and how the automated system is going to be there, and what are the different technologies that have been utilized to move from the manual payment system to the automated payment system, and what are the benefits for it. So let us have a look at the introduction. So why do we need to have this payment management system? First of all, we need to streamline the payment system, because everybody knows the payment system. When it comes to the month end, or it is going to be your quarter end or your year end, you see a major influx and of the payments that have to be made, and it has to be processed, and everything has to be accurate. So first and foremost thing is we need to streamline this process. And once this is there, then this will help us to improve the decision making, because we have the data. Then once this data is completely available, we can ensure the compliance is there, and we are accounting for the tax regulations. Then we can improve the financial forecasting. Earlier, if it was all being maintained in papers or maintained in Excel, and if it is coming by emails, it is all available in different places, and it cannot be done on a real time. So once we are having this in a payment system, everything is centralized, and you can do your forecasting and your budgeting. And with this, since the data is already available, you can look into prevention of the detection of fraudulent activities. Then also you can identify your spending patterns, where you're spending more, whether is it really justifiable to spend the particular amount of data for a particular activity. So this is how the payment management system is going to help us. So why payment management system? We know the payment management system, the payments is very time consuming activity, and during the month ends, there is huge amount of payment processing to be done. So we have to avoid this. So yeah, for this we have to use this. Then the payment, since we get data in many forms, they have to be extracted, and extraction of these data is also time consuming, and it has to be precise, and it has to be transferred. So then we have to make timely payment of the invoices. Once we do this, then we are going to maintain the credibility. And once all this is done, and the data is available, so you have an efficient account management. Manual payment. So this is a basic process of how the payment process happens. First is you are going to receive an invoice receipt, and from the invoice receipt you are going to extract the data from the PDF files or the invoices which have been received. Then from that, once the data is extracted, the data needs to be verified whether they are right or wrong, whether the invoice that has been received is the right invoice, whether the terms and conditions in those are correct, whether the services have been offered. So all these verifications needs to be done. So then once the verification is done, it goes for the approval. Once the approval is done, then the payment releases. Then once the payment is released, all the data has to be entered into the ledger, and you have the data completely there. And once all this is done, the communication has to be done to all the involved stakeholders, the vendors, the service departments. So all these communications have to be done. So this is all time consuming. So this is how the manual way of processing happens. So let us look at how the automated payment works. So what are the things involved? This is effectively the same slide as what was in the manual process, but here we are going to utilize the available technology. What technologies are we using here? We are going to use robotic process automation, artificial intelligence, and the chatbot. So in each stage, what are the technologies that we are going to utilize? So in invoice management, we are going to utilize the RPA and the chatbot. And the details of what is happening, we will see in the future further slides. Here I will just list out the technology. So in the invoice data entry and basically extraction, we will be using AI and chatbot. And wherever the chatbot is mentioned, there the manual intervention will also be there. And when in the invoice verification, again here, we will be utilizing the AI and the chatbot. And for the approval, we will be having the RPA and the chatbot. For the invoice payment, we will be having the RPA as well as the chatbot. Similarly, for the ledger entry and the communication. So what are the available technologies? What we see is the robotic process automation. Why is it used? It helps in automating the repetitive tasks. Then it mimics the activities of a human. Then it follows a predictive workflow. You decide a workflow, it works according to the workflow. It is rule-based tasks, and it enhances the efficiency. That is why we utilize the robotic process automation. Then we also utilize the next part is the artificial intelligence, that it is used to recognize patterns, analyze the data, speech recognition, and decision making. The next technology which is utilized is the chatbot. It can simulate human conversations, understand and respond in real time. Then it can automate the tasks like scheduling and meeting, and it also acts as a personal assistant. So after this, the final technology which we will utilize here is the analytics. Why do we need analytics? It basically acts for data collection, data cleaning, analytics and interpretation, and the data visualization. So if we look at the first part of what we are looking at, the invoice receipts, here you can see we utilize robotic process automation as well as the chatbot. Why? What does robotic process automation do here? It reduces the repetitive tasks which of the person who's supposed to look into these activities, like monitoring the invoices. It has to be monitored continuously because they have to receive it, they have to process it, and every time the person needs to be seated there. So it might happen in real time or not happen in real time. So here with robotic process automation, it will be happening in real time. As and when it is received, it will be processed. So the invoices can be received via emails or by portal uploads or by manual uploads. So Once it is received, it is processed instantaneously because the bot is working continuously for round the clock 24 hours, no break, nothing. So with this, once the invoices have been received, it extracts the data, it extracts it and moves it to a particular location for further processing. Then there will be no missed invoices here because it is continuously monitoring and no rest. And with this, there will be no delays. And once it receives, it also sends a notification to the recipients as well as to for further processing, saying that, okay, this invoice has been received and it has to be processed. So here, what is the role of the chatbot? Chatbot here is, it acts like a human in the loop interface. If any handling has to be, inquiry handling has to be done, it can be done at any point of time. Like the vendors can chat with it, the suppliers can chat with it, the users can chat with it, and you can also get a real-time invoice tracking, and with this it also gives the improved supplier relationship. And with data for invoice data entry and extraction, we will use artificial intelligence here. Now it has, from the invoice, it has to extract the data. What are the kinds of data that it needs to extract? Who is the vendor, who is the supplier, what is the PO numbers, what is the amount that has to be extracted, and what are the payment terms and conditions. So all these data needs to be extracted from the invoice and it has to be processed. So similarly here, what is the chatbot doing here? It is again a human in the loop interface. It is used for validation. Suppose the data, the invoice which is uploaded is not of very good quality, it cannot be extracted, then it sends it back to the human for validation. So it looks into the quality of the extracted data. If other invoices, suppose a vendor is supposed to send the invoice to company X but sends it to Y, then Y cannot process it. So it sees that there is some issue with it, so it goes back to the human through the chatbot and gets it validated. And invalid files, instead of attaching an invoice, they mistakenly attach some other file, so it will not be able to process. So this is how this chatbot will look into with the human to validate it. And it also acts as inquiry handling and also for communicating to the vendors and suppliers. So similarly here, this is for the verification process. So what are the things that needs to be verified? You can see the vendors, suppliers, the PO numbers, the payments, and all these which were extracted earlier needs to be verified with the documents which were earlier provided. And so based on that, whether these data are right or wrong, so these are also verified with the help of artificial intelligence. And the chatbot also here is acting the same way for any validation purposes with the human in the loop. Then for the invoice approval, it monitors once the validation is done, it sends the data for approval. Once this approval, whether these approvals are happening or not, or whether it is on time or not, so it it keeps on monitoring for this and also notifies the person who has to approve it and also provides the real-time status of this approval and also notification of the approvals for invoices. Here again the chatbot will be the human interface in the loop, and also it will handle all the inquiries to this. Then we will look at the invoice payment. For the invoice payment, again, we will be utilizing the robotic process automation here. It monitors for the once the approvals which have been done. Once the approval, it sees that the approval has been done, then it moves it to release for payment. Once the payments are done, it will notify the payment of the payment release. Then the payment release order is passed, and the notification of the payment release is sent to the respective stakeholders. And here again, the chatbot will be the interface to the for enquiry. Okay, now the payment has been released, the invoice has been processed, it has been approved, and the payment has been released. Now all these data needs to be entered into the system for real-time tracking. So once all these are done, the data is available. So the RPA process moves in and starts entering all the data. Now, since it is happening in real time, there will be no missed data here, and it is going to provide a real-time tracking, and after that this will move into the final closure, and it will inform, yeah, that we will see that. So now the communication, once the complete process has been completed, now it needs to inform to the vendors or the suppliers, and also to the approvers and to the service departments, that the invoices which have been received have been completely processed and it has been released. Then we will have the reporting. Why is this reporting required? Since we will use the business intelligence analytics here, this provides the data. With the available data, it will give you data-driven insights of how the process is happening, and it will help you in decision making. It will help in cost reduction, better forecasting. It will help in efficiency, increase in efficiency, then vendor performance monitoring, and also help in the compliance. What are the benefits? The benefits will be on-time payments. With on-time payments, you have a better vendor relationship, and with this you will have increased credibility. With increased credibility, your vendors are happy with you because they are receiving their payments on time without any errors. So then it is going to save processing costs because you will not be doing multiple processing, and it will not be much involved with human processing. Then since the data is available, payments are made on time, then you have increased compliance and you are saving on time. So these are the benefits of having this system. So yeah, thank you.
So much for the outstanding presentation.